Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Callie, and today I am going to be going through a haul. I haven't done a haul in a while, and I'm not going to be hauling every single book that I have gotten over the past. I think my last haul was in December. Not gonna do a haul because then we'd be here forever. So I'm just gonna go through the books that I got in the past month or so, which is still probably too many books, but I have been getting rid of a ton of books and selling them so that I can keep kind of even, but I have no self-control is really the point here. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. The first book I have is Muse by Brittany Cavallaro. This was gifted to me by Sarah. It came in a beacon box that she got extra, and she gave it to me because that's what we do. I don't know. I have no idea what it's about. I also placed a book outlet order within the past month or so. So I got a couple books that I have had in my cart for some time and that I've just been dying to actually have my hands on. And the first book for that is Pet by Callie Amezi. I am so sorry if I butchered that. I have heard nothing but fantastic things about this story, and I am trying to do better by diversifying my reading, by reading POC authors and POC stories, and I have heard a bunch of praise for this story, and I'm really excited to get to it. The next book that I got in that order is Reboot by Amy Tintera. I recently finished her Ruined series, and I really enjoyed her writing style. So when I saw one of her older stories pop up on Book Outlet for really cheap, I decided to pick it up. And this one is when you die, you can reboot, but the longer it takes for you to wake up, the less humanized you have become. And it just sounds so interesting. I've heard bits and pieces of this story, and I've heard that it's done really, really well. I'm actually not entirely sure if this is a series or not. But I'm excited to get into it. The next book that I picked up is Court of Lions by Sumaya Duad. This is the sequel to Mirage, which I will be getting to very, very soon. So when I saw that the sequel was on there, I wanted to pick it up so that I can immediately go into the sequel. And I believe this is only a duology, so I can just get right through it. And I'm really excited to get to this story because they changed how the covers are. The first one is very plain and 2018 YA. It's kind of plain and boring, has just symbols, and they did a whole redesign for the second book, and I just love the art style of this. It's so pretty, and I'm excited to get to the series. The next book that I ended up getting is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, which I really liked and read last year, and I've been meaning to pick this up. I pass by it every time I'm at Barnes & Noble, but I've just never felt a good reason to buy it, and then when I saw it on Book Outlet, that it pulled me, and I knew that I had to buy it. This is the second book in, I believe, what is going to end up being a trilogy, with the final book being Alecto the Ninth coming out next year. So I may push off reading Harrow the Ninth just so I can binge when Alecto comes out, because the first book was so well done, and the climax and quote-unquote resolution was heart-wrenching, and I'm scared that she's gonna do something similar in here, and I'm not gonna want to wait an entire year and a half for it. So I'm trying to be smart, but also cheap books. So yes. The last book that I got in this book outlet order is Deviant by J. Kristoff. This is the second book in the Lifelike series, which is a sci-fi series by J. Kristoff that has really flown under the radar, but whoever talks about this series says it's phenomenal. So I've been slowly collecting these books. I have now book 1 and book 2, so I'm trying to find a copy of book 3 so that, I can just binge this series, because I think this one ended last summer. He has so many books coming out constantly, I can't keep track. Because last year I think he had almost 3 books come out. 2 or 3 at least. So he just is, keep it coming. That's about all I got. I need more. The next one is my March book of the month, which I ended up picking The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I picked this because it's about a woman who provides poisons to women in abusive relationships. And that sounded fantastic. So this is the type of book that I really need right now. And I am so excited. It's short, it's probably sweet. I know they ran out of this book because Sarah tried to get it and apparently was too slow. But it's okay, I have a copy. So we're good. Next, one of my pre-orders for March came in, and I ended up getting Red Tigress by Amelia Wenzel, and I ended up getting the Illumicrate edition because look at this. It's so pretty. Like, how could I not? I also have the British edition of Blood Heir, so I wanted my editions to match. I don't have the Illumicrate edition of Blood Heir, which also has this blood trickle effect on the edges, but it has the similar red coat figure stairs thing. And I wanted them to match, and Illumicrate was going to end up being the exact same price if I were to buy the UK edition from just a local retailer, and the Illumicrate one came signed. So I would rather have a signed edition with cool sprayed edges opposed to a not signed edition for the exact same price. It's just smart. I'm a smart buyer. And finally, Sarah and I ended up going to Barnes & Noble one weekend, and I ended up buying way more books than I anticipated. In my defense, I sold 2 bags of my own books to get some money back from half price. Didn't find anything at half price, which is one of the first times I've left that store without a book in my hand. But I made up for it at Barnes & Noble instead, apparently. So the first book that I ended up picking up is Everything That Burns by Gita Trellis. This is the second book to Enchanté, which actually has been renamed All That Glitters. I read it last year and I really enjoyed it. It is about a girl in France who has magic, and it is right before the French Revolution. And she is trying to con her way with her magic to save her and her sister. And it is so well done. It is beautiful. It is magical. I love all things French, so that's just a thing. If you didn't know that about me, now you do. I love all things French. I married a man with a French last name, so there's that. So I'm really excited to get to this sequel. I'm pretty sure this is only a duology, and this book actually got pushed back a full year. So I'm really, really excited to finally have my hands on it. The next book that I ended up picking up is Across the Green Grass Fields by Shauna McGuire. This is book 6 in the Wayward Children series that I'm slowly working through. I finally read book 1 and loved it. So now whenever I find one of these that I don't already own, I pick it up. So I'm still looking for books 3 and book 5. But I found book 6, so I have this now, and they're amazing, short, sweet little stories about children who went to worlds like Narnia, Wonderland, I guess Greengrass Fields, and then spit back out and have to deal with reality again. And they're short, they're to the point, they're really fun, and jam-packed for how tiny they are. So highly recommend this series if you've never touched it. The next book that I ended up picking up from Barnes & Noble is Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. A little different from my typical repertoire. This is just a straight up adult romance book, and I picked it up because I recently read Helena Hunting's other book, The Good Luck Charm, and loved it. I loved her writing. The way she writes characters was phenomenal. The adult romance aspect of it was fantastic, and I loved it. Brittany recommended Kiss My Cupcake as well. And since she had already suggested The Good Luck Charm, which I actually read her book of it, I borrowed it from her. I wanted to build my own Helena Hunting collection because it's really good. Next, I ended up picking up Fable by Adrienne Young, as well as Namesake by Adrienne Young. Let's see if I can get it to do the thing. It does the thing. See, it makes her face. So I picked up both of these. I did read Fable a couple months ago, and I had the Fairy Loot edition, but I actually didn't care for what they changed. I really love how this looks as a final piece in this duology, so I ended up selling my edition of Fairy Loot, so my Fairy Loot edition of Fable, so that I could purchase both of these when Namesake dropped so that I can read it. This is just a really fun, piratey, under the sea kind of story, and as you all know, I live for these types of books all the time. Just because I've read hair because of Ariel. Like, let's be real, I just love seafaring, under the sea adventures. So those are all of the books that I ended up hauling in the past month or so. I've actually been doing really well with how much I've been hauling and versus unhauling. I'm trying to be better at it and watching what I buy and trying to be more mindful of it. This is what I end up with. So that's going to be it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. All of our links will be down below in the description. Feel free to check out any of those, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!